Okay, let's get started. So, very welcome to NSO Developer Days 2019. This is the third time we're holding this conference, and it's a pleasure to me to open this session now. I'm Fredrik Lundberg. I am responsible for the engineering team behind NSO and the NSO applications that we build from this business unit to bring out to the market. I will do about 30-minute opening session, and then we'll get to the real stuff with the keynote speaker and a lot of customer presentations and good meaty stuff. So this is a key milestone for us in the business unit every year. We plan a little bit around this, and we are excited to have all of you here to share our best knowledge, our best expertise, and very much to interact with you and hear what's working, what is not working for you, what do you need more from us, how can we help you to manage and succeed with your automation journeys. So what you can expect here, we are here with a lot of people from the BU, and that's one of the reasons why we have this in Stockholm, that we can have the engineers blend into the sessions and blend into the coffees in between sessions. So grab them and ask them questions, right? And we're hoping for you to share everything you want. Of course, sometimes it's sensitive to share too much, but we will have presentations sharing use cases and best practice. So I think the previous 2 years have been very successful in the sense that we've had a very open, collaborative vibe to the sessions. So I urge you to keep that this year. So before we get started here, how many were here last year? Hands up. Okay. And the year before that, in 2017? Okay. So, and the rest, just to check that everyone knows how to raise their hand. Can you raise your hand now? Because this is your first time you're here. All right, very welcome everyone. Let's get started. So, if you were here last year, you know that we used a little tool to get interaction with the audience. And we're going to do the same thing now to learn a little bit more about you. So Fredrik, this is your moment. Start. So you should now pick up your phone, and you should, I hope you're on the Wi-Fi here, which is free, and there's not supposed to be an access code. And then you go to menti.com, and there you will have a screen where you can enter the 6-digit number, the session number, the code, 687833. And then you will be asked a few questions so that we can all learn a little bit about who's in the audience today. Anyone having problems finding it? No one. All right. So the first question is, which country are you from? A lot of Swedes, obviously. All right. Yeah. So a good spread around the world. Obviously, more people from Europe since it's easier to come here. But this is a very representative for our customer base. We have about 180 something NSO users around the world, and they are quite evenly spread across the geographies. Okay, let's roll the next one. So this one is, what type of organization do you belong to? So select what fits best, right? So you can select service provider if you're with a telco, enterprise if you're with a traditional company, large or small. If you're in public sector, that's public sector. And then obviously professional services, including Cisco CX and partners. And then we have the rest of us coming from Cisco. All right. So mostly service providers, but a few enterprise customers represented as well. And as expected, as it's been the previous years, quite a lot of professional services people, and that's no surprise. This is a product, but it's a platform product. We know that we need to have implementation. There's an implementation effort to get the automation going, and professional services play a big role in that. All right, let's take the next one, Fredrik. And this is sort of finding out, are we mostly network engineers, mostly software people, developers, or more managers? Managerish. Well, I can't do any of the other two, so I have to be a manager. All right, this is quite interesting, I think, because if you are to do network automation, it's our experience that you need to have, of course, good knowledge of the network, otherwise you don't know what to automate. But also you have to have some kind of software thinking in order to make the programmable, or to program the automation system, right? And then maybe you need a few managers to make everything run. But I would also say that now we're more software people than network people from background. I guess this all blends in when you have been working with it for a while. You sort of get sort of a third category. I am a network automation guy. Okay, next one. Yeah, we'll do this one now and then we can skip it later. So before we start this conference, I would like to sort of get your own assessment of how successful your organization is to run or to do automation. Scores starting from 1, we really struggle, it's a hard time for us getting started, to a 10, we are doing great. There's nothing we could really get more help with. All right. Who are the 10s? All right, we'll get you later. All right, thank you. So we can go back to the presentation. Now I want to introduce the people behind the product. So I welcome up on stage first Carl Moberg. So Carl and I work in tandem, you could say. I am responsible for the engineering team, and Carl, who I have been working with for a long time, is responsible for what, Carl?
I am arm in arm with Fredrik. I run the product management team out of Stockholm. So I run the roadmap and vision for all the products that Fredrik mentioned before.
Yes, and a few more.
And a few more,
yes.
So we've expanded the portfolio to also include our VNF manager called ESC. That's right.
Very good. All right, let's take the rest of the engineering team. So come up, and we have rehearsed this, right? So this is supposed to be, you're supposed to be standing in a certain order. So this is Thomas Mellgren. What do you do, Thomas?
So I am the CTO for our products, and me and my team work a lot with obviously the technical architecture and strategy together with Carl. And we spend a lot of our time working with our technology inside Cisco, in key products within Cisco, and also with our bigger customers.
Thank you. All right, next one, Christopher Skagerberg.
All right, hi. So my name is Christopher. Am I supposed to stand under my name, Fredrik?
Yes. So Thomas, you're supposed to be over there.
So I'm very honored to be heading up the NSO and Conf engineering team in Stockholm. It's an amazing team, has been building NSO and Conf since day one and continue to build and evolve the products. I'm really honored to be part of this team.
Okay, next one, Inder. Inter, you're based in San Jose,
That's right.
and what do you do?
Good morning. So our team based in San Jose basically focuses on building applications on top of the NSO platform, hence application team. These are basically custom built NSO packages that address specific use cases or vertical domains of the network. So we work a lot with different BUs within Cisco and in the field. We have 5 of these already now, and a couple of examples are the NFVO, which you'll hear about later, and Transport SDN, which is segment routing policy configuration in the network.
Thanks. Ulf?
Okay. Hello everyone. So my name is Ulf Tillander and I head up the BU escalation team. We are a group of about 15 people in both San Jose and Stockholm. And we are the gatekeepers to these guys in engineering. So normally we are behind, for NSO, we're behind TAC. So we help TAC and then we make sure that things are clean and fine when we get into engineering. But we also do direct support of ConfT, and we have a lot of internal Cisco programs using NSO and ConfT, and we also support them directly.
So when you contact TAC, you of course interact with TAC, and then TAC escalates to Ulf's team. And you are 13, 14 people?
14 engineers.
Yes, all right. And then, last but not least, Sally Rosie.
Hi there, I'm Sal LaRossi, and I head up the programmability team. We're more of a business development function. We actually work with several vendors to help them with their programmability needs, primarily using ConfD, and we basically support interoperability with NSO using NetConf.
So we have a few roles in Cisco, right, this business unit. So one, of course, is building and supporting NSO. Another one is promoting network programmability based on Yang and NetConf, and hence Cisco decided to keep ConfD in the product portfolio and continues to sell that to external customers. So Sal heads up that group, making sure we get a wide spread of NetConf, both outside of Cisco, but more importantly, inside Cisco. That's been in focus for the last few years. All right, thank you guys. Okay, since we met last, we've had a number of priorities in the BU, and I just wanted to run through what's been top of mind for us since last year. So obviously, we've been doing a lot of work to bring out the new version of NSO. It's version 5. 5.1 came out in March. 5.2 is due out any day now. And I recommend you to take part in the NSO 5.1 migration session that's in this program. That's tomorrow at 4:15. And of course, we will also cover the benefits of the new version and what's coming based on the new capabilities of version 5. That will be on Thursday's session at 1 p.m. Another thing, we continue to do Brownfield functionality. So turns out there's not only well-behaved NetConf devices in the network, and sometimes there are other people also managing devices. And in order to manage some complexity in that, we have added functionality, of course, continuously, but it's been an accelerated effort the past 2 years, I would say. So that's something that we have been focusing on, along with usability. We know that this is not easy. It requires a lot of, you have to be interested and you have to be focused to get your automation right? And we realize we have more guardrails to put up, we have more to do when it comes to documentation and helping you succeed. So 2 sessions, there's one on performance improvement, that will be today at 4 p.m. And there's one session about Brownfield service reconcile operation, that is tomorrow. A third thing, Inder touched on it, we, all the time from the start 5 years ago, we were sort of aiming for the day when networks would be virtualized. And with virtualization, you need to have a lot of automation, and you need to have the component for network function virtualization orchestration, NFVO. And that's something we started building back then. It's been out for a number of years, but also there, it's been an accelerated effort to make our NFV orchestrator compliant with ETSI SOL 3, and a lot of work going into that. We don't have a dedicated session for that, but Inder and a few of his people are around to talk to Inder and KJ, who's the product manager for the core function packs, including NFVO. Sam touched upon interoperability and programmability. We have been working a lot with making sure that NSO works with the other vendors. Of course, we have the nets, and that's sort of business as usual for us having the nets. But we also see that NetConf is becoming a thing in the industry, and we are doing interoperability testing together with other vendors to make sure that it works. And maybe more importantly, there's been a very, very strong effort to work with the many business units within Cisco. So XR is now bringing out a network implementation. We're doing intensive testing together with them. And of course, we're continuing a very strong integration effort based on the CLI nets towards both XR and XE. XE is already shipping with ConfD NetConf implementation. So a couple of million devices out there, NetConf devices based on XE. There's a session on YAMTech and interoperability on Thursday at 10 a.m. So if you're interested in that, go see that. Last year, and in many discussions with customers over the years, we've sort of gotten the question, okay, what's your best advice to make automation work? And we sort of said, yeah, well, we create the product, we don't really have a strong view for how to run the program. But last year we said, hey, we can do better than that. Let's gather our best experience, our best practices, that we gathered through talking to a lot of customers and of course seeing what works and what clearly doesn't work. So we have now put together a network automation delivery method, and don't view this as a sort of a cookbook, you do everything in that method. But it's a good frame of reference, and it's a good sort of checkbox or checklist to make sure, okay, we're not doing that, we're doing this instead. We're not doing that because we have done this in the past, right? So there's an introduction section to NADEM on Thursday at 3:15. Oh, Tuesday. So today, 3:15, sorry. All right, and then we are continuing to spend quite a lot of effort on building developer community. We see it as the best way for us to continue to develop the product by having a tight interaction with all of the users of the product, because that brings us good insight into what you need and how to best cater for your needs. And I will now introduce Niklas, who is the mastermind behind NSO Developer Days and also runs our community efforts. So, Niklas,
Thank you,
welcome.
Thank you. Wow, you've all been part of my spreadsheet for long. I'm so glad to see faces. Yeah, so I'm Niklas Wägert. As you know, I'm the one that you've been corresponding with prior to the event. But believe me, I have a big team behind me. So I'd like to direct a big thank you to all of you who helped me with this. So let me set the scene for this event by giving you a little bit of a background on the community. All right, so the ecosystem initiative started back in 2017. And the objective was to help new and more seasoned practitioners with our product NSO, and to capitalize the promise of automation. And So we decided we wanted to extend the value of the product by creating this community under the device Better Together. So we wanted to focus on openness and the ability to share, find, and collaborate on NSO. So the same year, we gathered 130 people here in Stockholm. That was the first Developer Days. And we saw that, yes, there is a great need to meet and network and share experiences. So now, 2 years later, we're here. We're more than 300 people gathered today, and I think it's fantastic. And you're all ready to kick off this 3 days event. And yes, I'm nervous and excited at the same time, but I'm faithful that we together will build this community and make it even stronger. Yeah, so the main objective is actually to impact the industry by enhancing the knowledge. So we've been focusing a lot on the knowledge level. And we wanted to establish a place for automation professionals to meet, and we're here today. And as Fredrik said earlier, it's really important that we get your feedback so that we can continuously improve. And how do we know that we succeed? Well, yesterday we trained 45 people through Cisco Learning and our partner Neil in NSO. So we gave them an introduction to NSO. We have 75 lab seats during the event, and I know many of you wanted that we should have more seats, but I didn't want every one of you to be in the office. I want you here. But to do practical labs are important. And we have plenty of success stories from customers, from partners, from our NSO BU, and from the CX organization. So all that combined, I'm proud to say that I doubt that anyone will leave this place without no new knowledge or without no new industry friends. So take the opportunity to connect with each other. Don't just hang around with your colleagues and your buddies. Meet somebody new and ask them what they do and what they have to share. And if you don't agree on this, let me know, and I'll try to improve. All right. So we already seen some Menti questions about who we are in this audience, but I just, because I asked you when you registered to give your title, and I counted the frequency of different words here in your title. So you, of course, you will find engineer, that's the most popular one, architect, software or just SW, network system, director, and going down. Yes, you will find an account manager here as well, I know. But interestingly enough, only 11 of you have the word automation in your title. And I'm really excited. I'm going to follow this word and see how it evolves over time from year to year, because I think it will trend. So if you can see, if you can raise your hand, how many of you think that the automation will be more popular in your titles in next year? Well, some people. Yeah. Not so many, but okay. Anyway, we have a great source of knowledge in this room. We have more than 500 years of experience in this room from 50 different companies, excluding Cisco. So I'm sure if you want to get knowledge, you will find. Okay, so last I will share some traffic data on the Developer Hub to just show you how it's being used. And this has been sampled between 1st of March to end of May. And if we compare this with 3 months earlier, we have increased the traffic by 30%. And I believe it has to do with the conference, but we want this to continue. And we have 5,000 unique users logging into the hub every month. During this period, we got 472 posts spread over discussions, documents, and blog posts, and that corresponds to about 10% increase. We have 50 accepted solutions, which only correspond to 2%. So here we can improve. And I have a call to action to improve this. So I want you to be more active. I want you, if you have not, check out the discussions, ask questions, respond to questions, give kudos to people that engage, and find for information. So that's why we have this. So, before we kick off this event for real, I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for traveling far. Thank you for preparing presentations. And thank you for being here. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to stress the fact that we are a lot of people from the BU and from CX, Customer Experience Unit within Cisco. So if you have any question, reach out and we'll make sure you can talk to someone who probably knows the answer to your question, right? Or it could be a discussion and for an improvement or something. All right. So I just wanted to share what I think, what I have top of mind in June 2019. Certainly, I see network automation continuing to be a top priority around the industry, right? It's gaining a lot more traction, and I think you can feel that you are on sort of a winning track when it comes to career path and gaining mind share with your colleagues in your organizations. It's not easy, but it's important and it has a high visibility. Another observation, I talked about NFVO and virtualization being very important and has been talked about for about 10 years, started out about 10 years ago. But now I think it's really happening. We have a Cisco partner by the name of Rakuten in Japan. They are implementing a greenfield implementation using a lot of virtualization. And we see customers around the globe now going into actual production with virtualized network functions. So that's probably the trend that I see. Okay, it's been talked about for a long time, but now it's happening. Okay, we'll skip this one. Because we did that before. All right, you all have these, right? And it has a great overview of the different sessions. Make sure to really study and see what you want to go to. And then there's a color coding. So the blue, that's here on the main stage. There are a couple of conference rooms in this venue where the yellow tracks are. And then we have a few activities that happen back at the Cisco office, which is about 5-minute walk from here.
Yep. For those of you who will attend, my microphone. Yeah, for those of you who will attend the lab in the afternoon, we have a guy named Matthias Lanz. He will have a black and white flag outside the entrance here, guiding you up to the office, because you need a badge to get in. So,
all right, good. And I will not tell you where the toilets are. You will find them, I hope. But one logistics announcement, the buses for the evening event will leave at 5:10. So that is immediately after the session, so there will not be time to go back to your hotel room and drop off stuff or something, right? So if you need to do that in advance. All right, before I hand over to the keynote speaker, I want to share a little automation story of my own. So this is a Stiga Tornado lawnmower. This my father bought this in 1975, and in 2000, when I bought a house, I inherited this one, and it's been running quite nicely. Actually, not much maintenance done. I don't think we've ever changed the oil or anything, right? But it's hanging in there. In 2012, I decided, okay, I want to be a modern guy and I want to have an automated lawnmower. So I bought this one, a Husqvarna Automower model year 2012. And these things work by, you have a guide cable that you put on the perimeter of your yard, and then there's a magnetic field running around that. So nice physics, right? You kind of understand how it works, and then when the lawnmower gets to that, it turns around and it goes in a random pattern and it cuts your lawn. So nice automation use case. So and then for those who haven't seen this, here's a short clip showing how it works. So it goes, and it's of course a battery and 3 razor blades turning around. Cuts just a little bit, but every day and many times a day. So it runs a lot and it just keeps going. Most users of these name their mowers, right? Mine is named Glenn. Okay. One thing you need to do, you have to put down that cable, right? Turns out you have to put it down a number of times. I think, so this year I had an outage, a network outage, meaning the cable, the guide cable was broken. And it's like a 300-meter cable. It's very hard to know exactly where it's broken. So this time turned out I had to rip it all out and put it down again. So this is my son helping out with this task, and here's me doing the same thing, right? So you have to go dig it down all along the yard. In the bottom right corner, there's my son when he was supposed to be helping me, right? I finally got him out to actually do the work, but he's more enjoying the benefits of automation even before it was automated. In all, I mean, you would think that a lawn would be greenfield, but there's actually some legacy problems, right? Sometimes there's something sitting in your yard that doesn't move when the Glen comes running, and you need to move that, and sometimes you haven't done that in a while, and then you need to bring out your old legacy technology because it has much better capacity. But new and old technology don't really blend that well. So this is the problem you run into. Okay, and then it is complicated. The commercials show you the lawnmower walking around and while you're having a coffee or a beer in the background, right? But you have to be interested. You have to be interested. You have to give your lawnmower a name. It has to be the first thing you check when you get home from work. Did it do what it was supposed to? You have to be fascinated by it turning and running in the yard, right? And the yard itself is much more complicated in reality than it is in the booklets. The interesting thing though is that just as we're implementing brownfield functionality in NSO, there's a lot of nice features in these little robots. But you have to know how to configure the darn thing, right? That there's no NSO to help you here. So a few key learnings from this automation. I love it, right? I run it every time, but whenever I get the question, so how do you like it? Is it saving you a lot of work? I think the honest answer is no. It's not saving me that much work, but it's different work. I think that is different for you. I think it is saving you work. It is saving you complexity and outages, right? I think this technology is a little bit more, I shouldn't say more complicated, but if you have a professional use, I can see this being really good. I still love it. The features are there. The documentation, just as our documentation and our guides to help you do your automation, I think this could also be improved greatly, right? There's a number of settings for how wide the corridor is so it doesn't get stuck, etc. But you have to know what you're doing. It's a journey. I'm now on year 7 of this journey, restarting it again after having done some changes to my yard. The benefits are significant. In this case, maybe not so much yet in terms of time saving, right? But when I go away for 2 or 3 weeks, it keeps running. And the actual lawn gets much nicer. You get better grass because you cut it often. Right? So that's those. So when you're struggling with your automation, think about me untangling that guide cable from the old lawnmower. Okay, with that, I'd like to get started with the main program.
Cisco, the bridge to possible.